and they're okay with having their Google Classroom open? Okay. All right, welcome everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to our Friday presentation. In a minute, we're going to have Mr. Khuu walk on up, and he's going to share his story of his life. And we're really excited for you to hear it. It's going to connect a lot to what you've been learning in class with human rights. And so just a reminder that we are going to be a respectful crew. We're going to make sure that we're focusing, that our bodies are being respectful, along with our eyes, our ears, our hands. And so I'm really excited for you to hear this. I'm really excited for you to hear about somebody's life and how you get to meet like a modern day character of what we've been learning in class, all right? So why don't you take 30 seconds, if you have not yet, to open up Google Classroom, and you should have some presentation questions available to you on there. My class should already be there. Benjamin, do you need help opening your iPad? Interview questions? You got it? Awesome. Great. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Khuu is Miss Andaya's father.
Wait, it is?
Which is exciting.
What?
So,
Exciting.
Do you have any questions for me before we start about the presentation? Or if you're unsure about something? Yes? One more time?
So the slideshow organized by
Basically, for the most part. Yeah, great. You're welcome to take notes if you have read the questions before. But without further ado, would you help me welcoming Mr. Khuu on up?
I was asked to come and share my story to you guys. And, so I'm gonna I have a presentation. I have the slide. If you don't understand my accent, I have some accent when I speak English. You just stop me and ask me so I can kind of explain it to you. But I try to go through this slide to show you where I grew up and how I came to the United States and become a U.S. citizen here. So I don't know if we can start with the slide.
Yes.
Any question for me? My name is Khuu, and people call me PK. It make it easier for you guys. So my friends at work call me PK. My church people call me PK, and so you can call me Mr. PK. That's make it easy for you. I was born and grew up in a very tiny village. Tiny, like about 200 people live together in 30 houses in total. So they're very tiny, very small. Yes.
what country did you
Vietnam. Yeah, I came from Vietnam. Probably it's gonna be there in a little bit. So how I escaped from, I left my country from Vietnam to here. So I live in a very small village, and it's about 30 houses in total. So very, very small. I live in a place that I never saw a bicycle, not even a bicycle. So no motorcycle, and I have no concept about cars at all. So that's how small is my country, my village, where I live and grew up. But I live by the very big, wide and big river. So I have a little clip, but it doesn't really play. So. It's a video clip, but it's only show one thing here. It's like about 30 seconds. So where my village is, we live in a very big and wide river. I don't know. At one point, I think that someone tried to swim across that, but there's no way. It's big. So that's where I live. And my first exposed to school is, is not a really school. It was a what they call village communal house where people come and worship the ancestor, the whatever gods they have. And beginning by studying the Chinese, I learned Chinese because my parents are China. And they taught me how to write and read Chinese character. I don't know, you know Chinese character, it's not like a Roman character, so it's very difficult to write and read and things like that. And teacher is actually is not a, like you guys have today, teacher is someone who knew the language and come to that place and help us understand Chinese characters. That's my exposure to the language. And the student as a kid, my age, in a village, live in a village. So that's how I get first exposed to school. And because of we live in the war zone. You know that our country divided into two. I'm gonna do that later on, but you know we have we live in the south, and the South soldier and constantly fighting with the communist rulers, and then and my family decided to move to a different town, small but it's different, where there's no war and there's no more security and peace. So we moved there when I was 8 years old. So I lived from my small village from when I was born to my 8 years of age. And I moved to a small town, and then there's the first time I saw a bicycle, the first time I saw a motorcycle. And now the concept of cars become, you know, the car is something that I never saw it, and now I see it. So it's my very first time. That's how I exposed to the a little bit more modern life. It's my parents my father from China. He fled China to Vietnam when he was 22 years old, and he lived there. At first, he came to Vietnam without knowing the Vietnamese language, just like a lot of people came to the United States and don't have the language. They don't understand the language. My father was one of them. Came to Vietnam but doesn't speak Vietnamese. Did not understand Vietnamese. So it took for him a while to learn the language. And then he married my mom, who is a Chinese Vietnamese. My mom was born in Vietnam, but her parents are Chinese. So it's a Chinese Vietnamese. So they live together and have kids, and I'm one of them. And they actually weren't well educated. They don't have school, they don't have, at their age, it's very hard, and then they move a lot during their lifetime. So they don't have all the education that you guys have or I have. So, but they work pretty hard. They work really hard. And you know, in Vietnam, over here you have pharmacies, you know, the Western medicine kind of thing. But in Vietnam, and right now, if you go to Chinatown in like Orange County or Chinatown, you will see something like called herbal medicine, and people buying it to treat if they have some kind of headache and something like that, stomach ache, they did buy some herbal medicine to treat that problem. That's how my family's business is. You know, from my father, my mom, and my brother, we all have business like that. And despite their hardship, they work very hard. They was considered pretty successful people, because my father did not know the language well, and there's no formal education. They learn the language by themselves, and so it's a pretty hard life, but they work pretty hard. I stopped here in Augusta so far. Yeah.
Which one is it? What number?
Number one.
Number one.
What was happening at your time of your childhood?
What
Say it one more time.
What was happening at the time of your childhood?
What were some of the big events when you were between ages 0 and 8? What were some of the big things happening around you in your village?
Get ready to type, everybody.
Yeah. You know, most kids in United States have formal education. Where I live there, I have no school like this, and then we learn the language Chinese by someone who knew the language. So we don't have that also. That's so making us. It's very difficult to learn the language without a school system like this. So, but we have to endure them. So that's the most significant thing that I see from my village. I never see a car, never see. So I live in very. Oh, another thing is I want to say that we live in a jungle. The little village is in the jungle, so we have mosquitoes, we have all kind of insects. So, and then the disease could be one of the disease that people get treated is a mosquito bite. Yes.
Were the size of the houses like a little hut?
Yeah, it's pretty like, yeah, exactly like you say. It's a high, we don't have today kind of stucco or, siding. It's just it's a hut house, pretty small. Yes.
What is your favorite memory of your childhood?
Great memories of my childhood is I grew up with kids like my age, the same age, and then we so tight together. We don't have any toys, anything, and we don't have any school that we can, we have kids, so we very, very, we tight together, and then we pretty much that's all we have is nothing. It's just friendship.
Did you have a lot of friends?
I have, right now I do have 5 friends that I still have contact with, but they are almost 70 years old. They're all friends, yeah. They live in, some live in Australia, some live here, and some live in Vietnam. Yes.
How old are you?
How old I am now? How old?
Yeah, how old are you?
Okay, now 69 years old.
16.
One more year and become 70.
That's what I'm saying. All right, we'll hold off on questions if you want to continue on.
Okay. So when I moved to a bigger town, from a village, it's a jungle, and in jungle to a little more modern kind of town. I first exposure to the more formal education like here, but it's not like here. It's just so you know. So I went to my elementary school, first for the 2nd grade to my 5th grade, just like you guys today. And I moved to junior high. I have junior high and I finished my high school. And I complete my high school in 1975. And it's very different system, education system there. You have to pass the final exam. It's a national exam. So everybody take the same test, the whole country, the whole south of Vietnam. And we need to pass the test to get to the college, in order to us to continue. So it's a national exam. Everybody have to pass it, or you go to become a soldier. You can't continue working, and you get drafted, and you go to become a soldier. So that's how the school at that time. I just took a picture from one of the YouTube things, and then they show that, and then it's very similar to what I have when we have actually moved to a formal system, educational system. And any teacher very dress up very traditional, they call áo dài, long dress, and then kids are just very tight together in one spot. And that's how we had it in our school. And I don't know what the average school number of students here, but I think we have quite a big group of schools.
What did your parents do for a living? What did you learn from your parents or grandparents?
What did your parents do for a living?
My parents work hard, have little education, but they work pretty hard, and I consider they succeeded in life because of hard working, and hard work paid off when they work hard, and that's yeah. The war between the communists north and the Republican south.
So you were automatically in the war because you had to finish school?
No, if you finish school and you pass the exam, the national exam, you can continue to go to college. If not, then you have to go to become a soldier. Thank you for asking that.
We'll hold off on questions, and then maybe somebody will be answering them.
Okay, how did I leave my country and come here? Right? That's mostly you don't know Vietnamese. Vietnam is a country with like an S shape, right? And part of the north is a communist, it's a red, and the south where I live right here. From here to here is a Republican, like a freedom, capitalist. So that's where I live. This is where that's where we fight between the two soldiers, a war. And they divide this into the it's a history. So 1954. They divide the country into two, so communists in the north, and we live in the south of freedom. And in 1975, in 1975, the war between the north and the south was ended. 20 years of civil war. And the communists from the north, the red region, took over the whole country. And then we have no more freedom. And million people escaped, left the country. Millions of them risked their life in the ocean, in the sea. And we escaped. My older brother organized a trip, what they call a journey, whatever you call, escape from Vietnam to Thailand. And as far as we know, that the United Nations have the numbers that say that 1/3 of the people attempted to cross the sea, could not make it. Didn't make it. So we talk about 2 million people, 2 million from 1975 to 1992. 2 million people left the country. Only 2/3 of them survived. I'm one of them. That's why we live in our country, because the communists took over the south, and then million people left the country. So my journey from Vietnam the way I live here, the south of Vietnam, and I departed here, and then I took the boat, little boat, to go to Thailand, where we was kept here for a couple of months. So you see that this, I think it's 870